Thank you very much for the opportunity to shed light on some of the issues regarding our operations in our franchise area. The reason why we took out some customers in Zaria, and in fact not only in Zaria, in almost all our franchise areas, there are customers that we targeted for disconnection. The reason is simple. They are owing huge debts. They are not consistent in the payment of their electricity bills. So that is why we had to take this very tough decision. We know it's a very huge inconvenience to them, but it is also to us. If you look at the burden that we have to bear because of the non-payment of the bills, it's causing a serious strain on our operations. And we realize that if we do not take this very harsh measure, it's unlikely that these customers are going to do the needful. And before we took this decision, we had a series of engagements with them. We met with their community leaders and people, their youth leaders and all. We called them to a meeting. We intimated them of our intention. We also sent letters to all customers that were affected by this exercise. We sent personal letters to them, telling them that what they are owing and the need for them to settle this bills is in the absolute, because they were not forthcoming in their responses. That's why we took this decision. Just on Tuesday this week, we were at the MS Palace to also brief him on what we have done and also share with him all the data of these customers and all the outstandings and the energy we are supplying to those communities, what they are paying, what they are supposed to pay, what they are being billed, and what is outstanding. So the Emirate has all this information, and in fact the customers themselves. So we are hoping that we're appealing to them to try as much as possible to see that they redeem some of the outstanding on their debts and on their bills, so that we can supply them. We know that it's not going to be possible for them to pay in full, but we are asking them to pay a certain threshold. Let's see that effort from them. Let's see the commitment from them. Once they show this commitment, we are going to restore supply. And in fact, thankfully, there are some communities actually who have come together, put money together, and have made payments, have met this threshold, and we have restored supply to them.
Okay, concerning the fact that electricity supply or consumption is an individual or group or institutional matter, there are those sarcasms that are under prepaid, usually prepaid meters, and they also be affected by your mass disconnection.
No, what we are saying is that every customer that we disconnected has an outstanding on his bill. Most of the communities, they are doing less than 20%.
What about those people?
I'm getting there. They are doing less than 20%. So there are very few, and there are very few, if there are any, very few people who are actually on prepaid in those communities that are affected by this exercise. You understand? Most of the customers, 90% of them are postpaid customers, and we have their records. Like I said, we shared it with the emir, we shared it with the communities where we met with them. I can even share it with you if you want. I have it right here. So most of those affected are people who are not consistent in the payment of their current bills. They have huge outstandings. They have not settled. So these are the reasons why we took them out. And in case anybody who has a prepaid meter and is affected by this exercise, and I believe they are very negligible in number, that once the community, once supply is restored, his meter, his units will be there for him to use. But it's just unfortunate that he has found himself in a community of people who are not paying, and that's very sad. It's not the intention. No, it's not the intention, but we cannot continue in operation in a situation where we are losing 80% of our energy. That's a lot of money. We can't continue consistently.
Do you have an estimate of what you are doing both in Zaria?
Yes, it's nearly 5 billion naira in Zaria alone, and what we are getting, it's very, very negligible amount, and we can't continue like that. And you know, with this is, it's no longer public service, it's no longer a social service. We buy this commodity ourselves and come and sell and expect to get money from customers so that we can pay back in the value chain.
Okay, apart from individual households, are there institutions that are part of this?
No, I don't think so. Because
I'm asking this question based on the release by ASU today about against your company?
That what?
About the mass disconnection that you...
No, that's what I explained. The mass disconnection only affects customers, for prepaid billed customers who are not paying, who have huge outstandings on their bills. Institutions are most likely they are what we call MD customers, and thankfully they are regular in their payments, like ABU itself. Those that their statement, I'm sure if you read it, is not talking about ABU as an institution, because they are an MD customer and they do regular.
Outside the campus.
They are all communities outside of the campus.
Yes.
And be aware that it's not all communities in Zaria. There are communities right now in Zaria that are enjoying supply, and because the members of those communities are forthcoming in the pay.
Will you mention the affected places?
I have quite a number. There is part of communities around Teaching Hospital, Busasa, Zaria is part of Zaria City, and the part of the GRA. These are some of the communities affected. But there are many transformers. These are the names of the communities, but there are transformers in those communities. Quite a number of them, which were affected.
So for how long have these people been under darkness?
No, it's for nearly a week now. Like I told you, before this exercise commenced, there were engagements that were made. They were informed in advance that please make this effort to settle your bills. Otherwise, this is going to happen. We have records of this. People in the area office in Zaria, they have all the records. You understand? Like I told you, we went to the Emir's Palace and we gave him the records, we showed him the records. And what the agreement we reached at the Emir's Palace was that to show commitment, to show faith in what we're doing, to show that we didn't do it out of malice or anything, we agreed that we're going to restore 5 communities. We'll give them a grace period. The palace, people in the palace, they begged for a 1-week grace, so that when these communities are restored, they will now go back to those communities and impress on them to do the needful, so to make sure that they begin to pay part of their outstandings. And that is what is in place now. Those 5 communities have been restored. And like I told you earlier, there are also other communities that have put together monies and come and paid, and they were restored. So those who are still out are those communities that have not made any effort to settle their debts. And we cannot continue like this, like I keep saying. This is a business. We buy every month, we have a total bill of nearly 4 billion naira for this electricity that we supply. And we don't get, the highest we have ever gotten is 2 billion. Every month we made an average loss of 2.5 billion naira. How long, which business can be sustainable in this, if you continue this way?
How soon are you going to meter all the households?
No, metering, we're not even there yet. It is not about metering. It's not even possible. I mean, if you're following the trend and what is happening, you know that metering each and every single customer is nearly impossible. And that is why the federal government itself has realized this. That is why it brought up the meter asset provider regulation, which is that the federal government itself is going to license independent meter providers. So they will now come and sign a contract with the discos and provide meters to customers. So federal government has partly taken the burden of metering from the discos. That is not to say that we are not going to meter our customers, but if part of the initial agreement we signed with the government during the takeover was that we are going to meter 100,000 customers per year for 5 years. And you know that even Kaduna North alone, you have more than 100,000 customers. So they are saying that we should meter 100,000 in the 4 states that we operate per year. So you see, the issue of metering each and every customer is not something that is going to happen soon. It's the wish, but it's not. Let's be realistic. It's not something that will happen anytime.
Okay. Finally, under this present circumstance now, are there rooms for shifting grounds?
Like we said, we are not asking these communities that we have disconnected. We are not asking them to pay in full. We are only asking them to pay their current charge. You understand? Pay their current charge. That's what we want. Not even the outstanding. When you pay the current charge, and then we now talk about how much installments will you be paying per month to settle that outstanding. But continuously, at least if you get a bill of 5,000, pay 5,000. Don't pay 2,000 and say, next month I'll pay. You know, it keeps accumulating. That's what has brought about the huge debt. And now it has become a burden for everybody, for them and for us. So just pay the current charge, and then we'll restore your supply. And then let's see that commitment from your part. But we can't continue every day time we give you bill, Out of 5,000, for instance, you just pay 1,000. Sometimes you don't even pay. And we can't continue like this. The business will